Skills have been a game changer. They're a token efficient way for Claude Code to have superpowers it didn't ship with. But there's been one problem with it. Sometimes they don't get read. A new Vercel study ran tests and it put the hit rate at about 56%, which is basically a coin flip. And that's a big deal, especially if we're running long-running autonomous agents through the night. You can wake up the next morning with obsolete patterns or broken code, all because Claude ignored a skill it really needed to find. In this video, I'll show you a method to get that hit rate to 100%, plus a framework for how to think about skill use. Let's go. First off, I think we have to establish what the problem is. Like, why aren't skills getting read? The reason is because Claude only scans what's called the frontmatter. It'll be the name and the description of the skill. If the description doesn't match what Claude thinks it needs, the entire skill is skipped. All those careful instructions down here, they're all thrown out. They don't get loaded to the context and they don't help your agent. What can we do about that problem? One blunt force way to do it would be to force all the skills, all the documentation you want that are in your skills right into the context of every conversation in Claude Code. You could do that by putting your skills in the Claude.md file. In this article, they call it the agents.md file. That's the more generic name, but it's equivalent to the Claude.md file in Claude Code. And this is a special file that's loaded into context every time you start a new conversation. And while that might be a bit more effective than the discoverability of skills, the problem is it leads to bloating up your context window with all the documentation. This article had a brilliant idea. What if you put in your Claude.md file, you just put in the index of the documentation or the skill or whatever you want to reference. And it shows you a way to do that using the Next.js documentation as an example. To show you how this works, I just created a new folder and just did a default create next app. And then if I run the command from that article, it's going to detect that I have Next.js 16.1.6. This is what it needs to pull the right documentation. Then I can put in my target markdown file. I'm using Claude Code, so I'm going to choose the Claude.md. Now what it did is actually two things. First, it pulled the full Next.js docs with your exact version that we detected here, and puts them in this .next docs folder. It also compresses the index of that doc structure and injects it into Claude.md file. So now if we open this project app in Cursor, we see here the .next docs, and it has nicely structured all the documentation. So I can look under app, API reference, look under functions, then open fetch, and I have all my fetch API references right here with examples. And then obviously we don't want to load all of this documentation into context. This is kind of the brilliant part. If you look in the Claude.md file, now it's injected this next agents.md start, and this isn't human readable, but that's the point. It's really been compressed down. I think it was originally 40 kilobytes for this reference. They added a pipe delimited format, basically minified it, and now it's just 8K. And we can see all those references to all those markdown files. So now this will be in Claude.md. It'll be in the context of every conversation. Claude can parse it instantly and knows where to find any doc. And this works really well now. Let me show you an example of something that tripped me up in the past in Claude Code. I'm asking for a simple Next.js application that gets a random joke. I don't want it to get a joke every time you refresh the page. I want it to cache the joke for an hour. So the first thing Claude Code does is read the documentation. It looks in the API reference under functions for the fetch. And from that documentation, it determines that the fetch defaults to auto no cache, meaning it refreshes every request. Then it adds here in here cache force refresh and then gives a revalidate interval. And the reason it picking that up out of the documentation and putting that into the code is so important is that actually changed fairly recently. I think it was Next.js 15. There was a big shift in the caching philosophy. It went from cache by default, you had to opt out of that, not cache by default, and you had to opt in, which it did here. And now we see we have a working application. If I refresh this page, it's just going to give me the same joke. It's not going to give me a new one because this joke is cached for this hour. That's actually significant because it's an issue I've seen before and it took me a long time to debug it. And also imagine now we're running, agents for overnight, long periods of time. You get an issue like that deep in your code base, and you got to waste a lot of time digging through technical debt from outdated patterns and documentation and information. So I know what you're thinking. This sounds good, but this isn't really even a skill anymore. You've lost all that dynamic discoverability, more like context engineering, and it seems a little bit hacky. I kind of agree with that. At the same time, it works. And I think we're in need of some stopgaps until the models and the tools are good enough to just ace skill discovery on their own. And here's the way I really think about it. I think more about it as a methodology we can use right now. At the top of the pyramid, we have tier 1, and this is really our core frameworks. These are the foundations we're really building on. Things like Next.js, which we saw just now. And having up-to-date accurate documentation and skills for this type of work is so crucial. I think this is the type of thing we should compress the docs and inject the index into our Claude.md file. I can show you the command you can use for Next.js. You could do a similar thing for Laravel, Rails, any kind of core framework you're working with. Then for more secondary skills and documentation, that's when I'd use another method. I'd insert references to those skills in the CLAUDE.md file. Example of something I'd think about this for would be like clerk for authentication. Say you want to add Google login, Apple login to your application. You could explicitly put the reference to the clerk skills in your CLAUDE.md file. An example of what that might look like is I just installed the new clerk skills. What I did is explicitly update the CLAUDE.md file to tell it what skills to look at for what kind of use cases. And also put in always invoke the appropriate clerk subskill before writing any authentication code. Do not rely on memorized clerk knowledge. The skill contains up-to-date patterns and API usage. If we go back to the article I showed at the start of the video, actually I'll link to this in the description. You definitely read the whole thing. But if we go from baseline with no docs, just skill discovery or 53%. But if we go to skill with explicit instructions, which I just showed you there, we jump all the way to 79%. That's a pretty massive improvement. We haven't added too much to the context. We're still keeping the skills nicely separated in the skills folder and having that nice separation of concerns. And then for tier 3, just let the skill system work normally. Something like, for example, PDF generation or front-end design. The front matter should be pretty clear, use cases somewhat obvious, and if Claude misses it occasionally, it's not going to sink your project. That's the methodology I've been using, and I found that it's really helped keep my code more repeatable, more deterministic, and inside the guardrails of the actual document. I'd love to hear in the comments what you've been trying. If you're into Claude Code, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And watch this video next on how to auto-improve your skills in Claude Code. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'll talk to you in the next one.